is David Rajkumar?
Who is David Rajkumar? I've been trying to work out who David Rajkumar is for the last 13 years. I think it's 2024. I have been shaped and chipped away a little bit, like the different experiences that I've had in this country. And my situations in life have changed as well. I went from being a single guy to a married guy to a two-child dad guy.
Did it happen all of a sudden?
I feel like it didn't happen at all, and then it happened just in one day.
Oh my goodness.
But I will say this though, and I'll say this at the end of our talk as well. The journey is important. I think, it will shape you into being a better person. It may not look like it at the time, but it can't be all that bad. It's difficult. It's like challenging, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I think that's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's. I think journey is the thing we enjoy the most.
No, I don't like. So
It's okay.
let me stop there. I am the kind of person who likes to, like, if my wife asked me, "Oh, let's go for a walk down the road, love," I'd be like, "No, but we have a car. Why are we going down the?" No, so she wants to enjoy the journey of the walk. For her, holding my hand and going down the street and looking at the trees and feeling the sun on her face is the more of the enjoyment than getting to the destination. When I go for a walk with her, I'll be walking at least 5 minutes ahead of her, so I can get to the end. I can get to the.
So you are more of the destination guy.
I am more of the destination guy, but I feel like I am being forced to pay attention to the journey. Yeah.
Is it because like it just happened? It happened after the marriage, after you get married, or it was before that? Your friends and your circle, they were like forcing you. Nah, you gotta enjoy the journey.
No. So here's the thing, right? Like I think everyone in my life, right, until my marriage, were very soft and kind of like, kid gloves with me when it came to giving me advice. They would give me the right advice. They would
Okay.
give me the relevant advice. But it was like in such a loving and sort of like, this is a 2-year-old kid kind of way that I would give it no second thought at all. I'd be like, yeah, all right. I'm sure they mean well, but I'm not going to listen to this. It doesn't mean anything. But all credit to my wife. She's a ball buster, right? She will tell you what you need to hear.
Okay.
It's for your good, and you better pay attention. And she'll explain to you as well, which is annoying as shit. And she's 100% right. So like, I will leave the room still irritated with what she has to say, but I'll have some time to think back and go, oh, damn it, she's right.
Yeah, the truth. Is.
Yeah. So that's the thing though. Like, and I look back at the people who've given me similar advices about the journey, and I see now that they were all right in their own different ways.
Yeah, the way they thought it was right. Yeah, it is how you. Yeah, you just. I think we just there are a lot of things. A lot of people will say a lot of things, and then we just need to filter them and then use whatever is necessary for us, isn't it?
100%. I think like, there are people who are older than me and more experienced than me, and people who've had so many life lessons that they have got on the way, that you are not beyond any kind of learning. Like anyone can teach you anything. A
Exactly.
person who's younger than you, a person who's older than you, a person who's less educated than you, they have education. They have their own education and their learning, which has to be useful for you in your own context.
Yeah, no. I had absolutely, you are absolutely right. I had a chat with one of my mate. He was like, I don't have a lot of experience. I can't say anything. I was like, nah, you are wrong. Doesn't matter. It's not the age that determines how experienced you are. You have your own kind of experience. You have your own kind of eyes to look the world. So it's your perspective. Whatever you have learned in whatever the time you have done, anyone can learn from anyone. That's the thing. And I remember we had a famous artist in Nepal who passed away, but he had a song saying that even the homeless person, even the monk, even the people who what do you call those babajis and yogis who live at the at Banaras and all those things, we can learn from anyone. It doesn't have to be this specific person. So how did you come to Australia? Like, can take us through your journey?
Sure, brother. I think my journey to Australia was not an intentional one. I did not have any plan or trajectory to come to Australia. I was minding my own business, doing IT work in Chennai, and it was my aunt who lived here. She still lives here. So this is my dad's first cousin. She got in touch with my dad after moving to Australia, I think 20 years ago. And she got in touch with my dad in 2016 or 2017 or something like that. No, I'm sorry. 2009. 2009 is when she got in touch.
Yeah.
And she reached out and she went, oh, what is David doing? Oh, he's doing engineering. Well, it would be nice if he could move to Australia. There's a better life here, and he's got all this experience, and he's working in Infosys for the last 8 years or something. I
Wow,
mean,
8 years.
yeah, that's right. And so she said you could translate that IT experience here, and you can earn a whole lot more money. It'll be really good for you and your family. You could have a better, standard of living, and you can make this your new home. So
Chennai is good as well, isn't it? Like Chennai, yeah, the whole South India, the literacy rate is really high, isn't it? 99.9%. I don't know what's the number, but I think majority of the people on that region, they are educated and they are living a pretty good life, isn't it?
yes. I think there is like a train that in Chennai of progress that keeps moving, and everybody's on that train. No one's in a standstill. Everybody's progressing. So you do your engineering, you land in an IT job, you move in that IT job, you progress, you get promotions, and you go overseas on site and this kind of stuff, and then you get more money, and then it's and that was actually one of the reasons why I moved to Australia. Like I thought this could be another progression in my career from me doing IT in Chennai. I could get even more experience here and thereby more money. So yeah, that was where I was headed.
Yeah, so it was like a part of growing up. Okay, you got to do engineering, medical. Was that the case? How did you choose engineering?
So this is one of those cliche kind of like stereotypical things, right? The typical Indian guy finishes school, gets good grades, either goes to engineering or becomes a doctor, or
Yeah.
something like that. Finishes and then joins a big multinational company and then earns the big bucks. That's the the pretty much stay in the box kind of thinking of this is what success looks like, basically.
Yeah.
So
Okay, fair enough. And then, so you move here. When did you move here?
So February the 4th, 2013 was my date of arrival in Australia.
Wow, 11 years, more than 11 years.
Yes.
11 years and a couple of months learning. So, uh, was it hard when you move here? You move here by yourself when you were young, isn't it? Not like, I don't know what age. What age?
So when I moved here, I was, I think, in my early 30s. And the the picture of how life would be when I would move to Australia, and the opportunities, and just the progression that I was used to when I was in Chennai, and the reality were very different things.
It didn't match.
It didn't even come close to matching. So like there was one thing that I enjoyed though. I found that so I did not grow up in India. I grew up in Dubai. I was born
Oh,
in
wow.
Dubai, yeah. and Indian. So like what most people would call a culture shock when they leave their native countries and go to Australia. I didn't find it. I've been living with culture shocks since I was born. So this is a different kind of a culture shock. So I grew up in a country where most people speak English.
Yes.
And I didn't know my own native language until I had to go back to India when I turned 18 to do my engineering.
Oh, wow. Why didn't you do it in Dubai? They don't have a. There's no proper. Dubai has a universities as well, isn't it?
They do, but they have very few universities, and there's no scholarships per se. I think BITS Pilani is there in Dubai. That's one university, and then University of Wollongong is there as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's the University of Wollongong there too. Apart from that, there's a few more other colleges.
I think a lot of the people from Dubai, the natives of Dubai, they go to UK or US to do their studies as well, isn't it?
Right. So now let's move on from the. So now that we're talking about progression and trajectory, this is what an NRI, and NRI stands for a non-resident Indian. So I was a non-resident Indian. In the sense I was living in Dubai since I was born. So an NRI's trajectory from school is to study really well, get good grades, write his SATs or GRE or something like that. And from there, his next progression from Dubai would be to go to the UK or the US or any other country, but not India.
Okay.
Because going back to India would be a step down.
Fair enough.
In so however, my dad said, I can't be sending you abroad to all these places like that. You need to go back to India. And so on my 18th birthday, that meant my visa was automatically cancelled. And yeah. So when you turn 18, you're no longer a dependent with your parents, or my dad, so you have to leave the country.
But like, even though you were born there, you don't have anything. Like, you can't get your own recognition.
No, you can't.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
So which is why students, when they finish school or before they finish school, they need to join a university,
over there.
and then they'll get a student visa.
Oh, okay. So it's pretty much same like whatever you do in Australia.
Yes.
How was growing up in Dubai? Can you tell a little bit? Like,
It was amazing.
I didn't know you were born and raised in Dubai.
So I think many people who look at Dubai think that immigrants, especially Indian immigrants who grow up there, are Indian. I mean, they grew up in a foreign country. That's not true at all. Like we literally took a piece of India and took it with us to an Arab country, and then we made that place a little India. Like that's how my parents were. They were an Indian in a bubble for a very long time. But I think the difference is we had a lot of exposure to popular culture and different things that maybe Indians back in the day. Now Indians are very woke, man.
Yeah.
They know everything about everything. But back in the day, it may not have been that case. We were exposed to a lot. Um, I had a very decent middle class. Riding your bikes, playing soccer with the mates.
How was Dubai like back in those days? It was not like what we see it now, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I turned 18 and I left Dubai in the year 2000, I have visited since then. I don't recognize that place anymore. It's not my home anymore. Like, it's become so modernized and so insanely fast paced that I don't, see the good old days where I used to go down the shop and buy a shawarma for like a couple of bucks and, go and play ping pong with my friends.
It's more like the tourist destination
Exactly.
now.
Yeah. It's larger than life, and a bit like very very artificial. If it wasn't artificial already, it's become way more so. But
Wow.
yeah. Look, I think we enjoyed Dubai in those days for the simplicity of it all. Like, we enjoyed that it wasn't too flashy, and it was
Was it strict like Qatar or Saudi Arabia?
No. So I think Dubai was in the international eye a lot because they had to welcome a lot of foreigners and stuff. So they had to keep it as modernized and welcoming and open as possible. So compared to the other Arab countries, Dubai was a bit more.
But it's still there might be some things that you couldn't do it in public. Like,
yeah, definitely.
What is the situation of buying alcohol?
Yes. So buying alcohol, you need a permit.
Okay.
You need a permit to do that, which you need to renew every year.
Same like a Qatar?
Yeah. So all over the Gulf, that rule is pretty much the same. You need to have a permit to buy alcohol, which you need to renew every year. So when you go to
Can everybody get a permit? Or
Yes,
no?
yes.
Okay.
So you just have to pay money and renew it like you renew a license or something. And each time you go to a liquor shop, you need to show it that it's like a valid permit, and then they'll give you the
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Is it still like that? Do you think?
Oh, I don't know. So, yeah, look, again, it's been a while since I went back. So, I would say like I still have some of my mates who did go to university there, and they're finished and working there, have their families there and stuff, and they're still living a larger than life, kind of a.
So when you moved from Dubai at the age of 18, where you started to become independent from Dubai to Chennai,
Yeah.
so there was a shock for you.
Yeah.
Was there a shock for you?
Oh, it was more than a shock, man. Like, I felt so comfortable being around, like, people who could speak English around me. The funny thing is, a lot of people in Chennai do speak English, but they just don't want to. They will speak in their local language because it means that if you do, you're one of them. They would rather you, like, even if you know English, you have to speak Tamil. So that was another, like, a learning curve for me.
Sense of I don't know, sense of is a one, like not I'm not different, we are all part of one thing.
That's right. Like,
Okay.
so they look. It's also like a thing of like, okay, if you look like this, you need to speak like this. You know what I mean? So the way that I looked and the way that I spoke did not match at all. So they were like, "What are you? what are you, mate?" Like, you know what I mean?
But did you practice speaking Tamil in back in Dubai or not?
No. So we grew up our entire lives listening to our parents speak to us in Tamil, and we would reply. We would understand what they would say. They would go in our heads. It will translate back to English, and then we would speak back to them in English.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That was our whole.
Was it hard for you to learn Tamil? But was it hard for you to speak?
Yes, of course it was hard. Like imagine not taking any initiative to respond to a person in a language that you understand. Like, it's just, and then just having the other person go like, what is he talking about? Like does this guy know to speak Tamil or not? So you know what, it was a whole lot of hits and misses and bumpy kind of thing. But I think I went through the same experience. My younger brother, when he finished school, he came to India. He had the same experience, and my sister as well. So we know we all had this.
So when you came to Chennai, was your parents with you, or what did you?
No, they were still working in Dubai. So they flew me down. They were there with me for a couple of months, and then they had to get back. So yeah, I was by myself. Hostel, boarding school kind of situation, but it was really fun. Like I think those years have again, taught. Like I learned more about life being in India than being I did have a sheltered life in Dubai. It was heaps of fun, but not exposed to a lot of things, that I might have been in. Yeah. Anyway.
So it's good. Something. Wow, I didn't know that one, and it was nice to know about that one. I never thought like you were born and bred in Dubai.
No, so the reason why I mentioned it, Shara, it's important for what we're going to talk about next as well. Like I just thought just having a background on that
No, fair enough.
would help us to kind of see what's going to happen to this guy next. Kind of thing.
You can have a drink.
Thanks, brother. Yeah.
You can have a drink in the middle. It's okay. So 18 years at the age of 18, you went there. You did your engineering.
Yeah. So that's my 4 years there, and then got into Infosys a couple of months after that. Worked there for 7.5.
How was Infosys? Infosys was like a big name back, like when I was growing up, because at one point I think I don't know, I was into engineering as well, and then
Yeah, that's right.
yeah, and then thought of going to India for the job, because you could hear all those big multinational companies coming to India, or at least if you are still in India, you could do those remote workings, like a lot of the big companies, they do the outsourcing, right? And then you could do, and like it's a big money, like, because I remember completing in Nepal, you couldn't get a lot of money. Like the paycheck was pretty bad, and once you start an Indian company, it's like 60,000, like 1 lakh per month. And wow, but yeah, never have that. Like how was Infosys?
I think I enjoyed. I think the moment I joined and the moment we went through the training and stuff, I knew this was going to be an experience that I would definitely enjoy, and I would not want to leave. Like I got so comfortable in that job. Like I stayed there. Like most people would go, you know what, I've been in this job. There's no progression in terms of my career. I haven't been, promoted to the thing that I wanted, and I haven't learned as much, and I haven't grown professionally as well. So most people would say that I was if left to myself, I would have been in Infosys still.
What do you used to do at Infosys?
So I was a Java programmer. I was mainly into support. So it's like we handled a bank. We handled an internet banking application, and so banks would use that front end internet banking things, right? So we would support the platform and bug fixes and that kind of thing. But that was what we were doing, and I think more than the work, I enjoyed being a part of the like a team. It was just so good. Like we would like, it wasn't like I was working on this thing by myself. I felt like, oh, okay, I would have a problem, I'd share it with my team leader or with my colleagues, and then we'd just figure out a solution, and then we'd kind of okay, how are we going to talk to the client? Let's work it out, and then we'll just do it. And I think when I became a team lead, like a few years later, I kind of what, let's just huddle up and work at this. And so going to work was not a stressful thing for me at all.
Teamwork was good. So
it was really good.
You feel like the part of you were solving, you were all doing a part of the job, and everyone has their own input. That's what makes it uh, comfortable and nice. Like you enjoy when you work if those kind of thing happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like you feel like, oh, I don't have to solve this thing entirely on my own. I get inputs from people who've already been through this stuff already, and it's not like a loner journey kind of thing, right? So it was really fun, man. Like,
Wow.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, you already mentioned moving to Australia was because of your dad's first cousin thing when
Yes.
they told you, okay. And your dad was still in Dubai at that time?
So no, at that point in time, I think mom and dad retired, so they moved to Chennai. So there was a bit of readjustment there as well. So by this point of time, me and my siblings had already moved back to Chennai. We had already finished our universities. Well, my sister was still doing university, and me and my brother were working in Chennai. And then mom and dad retired and we came, and that's when the phone call from my aunt came, and we were all very confused because at this point in time we did not know anything about Australia. We did not hear about anything. We don't have any idea about what Australia looks like. The only thing that we knew about Australia is we used to watch some shows on TV, like Blue Healers and Neighbors and Home and
Okay.
Away. Like those,
Home and away, yeah.
those kind of like
Byron Bay.
some stuff like that. So we didn't have much idea about, like, oh, what kind of a place would I be going to. So, but the prospect of a better life was really the pull there, like based on what my aunt said. So yeah.
Yeah, and then the picture didn't match with whatever your aunt was saying.
You know what? I feel like when we take a journey, right? For example, if you say you want to go to a place that you've never been to, right? What is the first thing a normal person would do? They would find out about the place that they're
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to.
yeah, exactly. Google it.
Exactly. So, like, just me and my ignorance, right? I just went, you know what? I'm sure it'll be a good place. Let's just figure it out when we get there.
So you didn't do any research at all.
None whatsoever.
It was
So,
just the words from your.
yeah, like, I feel like I should have taken some responsibility and gone, you know what? What does the IT scene look like in Australia? What does moving there actually look like? What's the cost of living? What's the, you know, how long would it take to adjust to life there for you culturally and also.
Yeah, because at that point in life, you were early 30s, so you are already into that position where like I don't want to do much of the work because I'm good working. As you said, you enjoyed working at Infosys, right? Because a lot of the immigrants, when we come here, we came on our early 20s, not even early 20s, 18, 19, 20, right?
Which is a right time to come because your minds are still open to new opportunities and new possibilities.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to like. So you decided you got to move here on your early 30s.
Yeah.
Where most of the people are, okay, if you think about it, you got only 30 more years for your retirement, right? You were kind of settled already. You were single, but you were already settled in a way, in your own way, right?
That's
So how did you adjust to that when you come here, and then what did you find out about Australia? Like, was it what in terms of IT sector and your jobs?
Yeah. So the very first thing, I think, like, the adjustments that I had to do, like, first of all, straight off the bat, an immigrant's education abroad will not be
Exactly.
will not be recognized in this country. Like, I don't want to use this as a forum to say, you know what, every immigrant does not deserve to be treated that way. This isn't a human rights kind of a thing. However, it is important for you to know where you are at professionally and where and how your experience is recognized, because if you do that based on whatever ignorance the recipient country has of you and your skills and your education and your experience, you will be in a better position to come up with contingency plans to make yourself known and
Exactly.
recognized and pick yourself up. Now, I'm saying this because these were the things that I did not do.
Okay.
So again, I like we've said before, I did have people in my life who told me at various points in time, do a course in TAFE, do a degree, do some kind of local thing that puts you on the map.
But did you come here as a student visa? Or?
No, I came here on a PR.
So yeah, so same like everybody else in India, they do the IT.
Yeah.
They got offshore visa, then you get permanent residency, then you come here.
That's correct.
But the job scenario is completely different when you think about it.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get the PR. Yes, you are settled in this country without having to work without having to juggle work and your university degree, but you don't have the qualification of this country.
Yeah, exactly. So while I felt like I was free in this country, I felt like I was completely useless in this country at the same time, because I would walk up to recruitment agencies, resume in hand, and I thought, you know what, my my superpower is my 7 years of experience. I've got this in the back.
At Infosys.
They have, yeah, that's right. They have to take me. Because apparently there's an office here in Sydney and there's another office here in Melbourne or something like that. So you know what? I thought, I have this in the bag. I'm gonna have no problem at all getting an IT job with the experience that I have. And then 5 agencies in, like 5 visits after, it slowly sinks in. You go. I wonder if my experience is actually relevant. And
Didn't you try Infosys?
Oh, I did try. Of course. Like
Exactly.
I tried Infosys even before I left Infosys. So when
Oh, wow.
yeah. So I tried to apply. When you do your exit interview there, they give you an opportunity to apply abroad as well. So it's like a transition to
You have to give exit interview?
at my own
Infosys.
Yeah, that's right.
So what do you say in an interview? So it's like an interview, or you just tell them, "Oh, I'm going, mate."
No, it's more like a final meeting with
Okay.
with the HR, and then they tell you and they ask you, oh, do you why are you leaving us? That kind of thing, and then you just go, yeah, personal reasons, stuff like that. However, I would like to continue on in your organization if you would, help me apply. So that didn't work out either. But I think looking back now in the last 11, 12, whatever years, 13 years, I think proactiveness is very important when you do this kind of thing. So I've been advising a lot of people about that. Like when you go to a new country, do not assume anything,
Fair enough.
because you will not know your worldview and your mindset are going to be completely oblivious to what is happening on the ground.
Yeah.
And a lot of people might explain to you things in the best way that they know how. If you come down here yourself, if you land here, if you come down ground zero, that is when the reality will actually hit you. And that's when
Yeah.
you will learn it yourself.
Yeah. So with a lot of challenges, as we can say, you like a couple of knockbacks from the recruitment agencies and everything. So you are still motivated to do something here in this country, isn't it?
So I'll tell you, like a lot of Indians in general, right? We have this, if I can use, for lack of a better word, we have this pride of, I have worked really hard. I have received a good education from when I was back home. I feel like I deserve a good job because I have studied well. I have these many years of experience. So therefore, I am entitled. Let me use that word. That's a much better word. I think I am entitled to getting a job that is worthy of my education and experience. So I think, so this is where the mindset thing is, that what I'm talking about. Like you you have it in your mind that I will work in an engineering job, in an IT job, and nothing else. I will not do anything else that is lower than my station. So that was one hurdle that I needed to cross for myself, personally. That, this is not a job that's worthy of my status,
Okay.
kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to. I don't know. I think at the end of the day, it matters survival as well, because you are in different country, right? Doesn't matter how much money you have on your bank account, it will be gone in one day. It
That's
will be
right.
gone someday, right?
That's right.
So you have to be able to be work out in whatever you get. Yes, relevant field. It makes a nice sense to work in the same field. So did you eventually land a job?
Yes, I did eventually land a job in IT. It wasn't. It was a consulting job. I think it was a casual position. It was in a Citibank, and I was working in an IT team, which was really good. I think this was a reference through a friend of mine. Again, it wasn't through an agency. Just by word of mouth, and just kind of this guy who owned a consulting company.
Okay.
He put me on to Citibank, and I was working with them for like 9 months and stuff. I think on a project, which is really good. Good experience again. I got to work with foreigners for the first time, which is nice. Different working experience. You understand how their mindset is and what they expect from you as an employee. So that was different. It was a good learning, I think.
Yeah, how long did you work there for?
9 months. So after the contract got over, they were like, all right, see you, bye bye.
Oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
But now you had Australian experience, and then was it a little bit easier?
So from there, I could actually apply for different roles. However, I think my next struggle was I didn't have enough experience. Like I had a foot through the door, but they were like, "Oh, do you have experience in this? Do you have experience in that?" So I ended up doing a lot of small, like casual jobs here and there until I could land a job with a larger, like a time frame. And yeah, I so this went on for like a year, I think, all these small odd jobs and ends and stuff like that, until I got an opportunity to go to New Zealand.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, so I got an IT job in HP.
Hellweight Packard.
Yes, Hewlett Packard. I don't know what they call themselves anymore, but that's what they were called then. And the only thing is, it was in New Zealand.
Okay.
And again, now I would be moving from Australia, a country which I was trying to figure out, to another country which I had no idea about again. But look, I think I thought this is going to be interesting. Let's give this a go. And
There is a permanent residency in Australia. You can go to New Zealand.
that's correct. Yes,
Yeah.
I was on. Yeah, that's right. I was on a PR, so I could go to New Zealand, and then all I had to do was apply something online, and then you would get a PR there as well. So I did get my PR there in like a couple of months, and I have to say I really enjoyed that job and that country a lot. I don't know if I should be saying this on an Australian podcast, but I enjoyed New Zealand. It's the country and its people quite a bit.
Yeah, I heard a lot about New Zealand. It's a small country, and I think it's more rich in culture and natural stuff.
That's right.
It's nice. It has a lot of mountains. You can eat a lot of beach and everything. I think
It's really good.
I haven't had a chance to get in touch with work with a lot of New Zealand people, but whomever I did, amazing people.
I know.
It's just-
There's. I feel like if Aussies are laid back, New Zealanders are like the gold medalists
Gold
of laid back.
Yeah,
They're like a really chilled out, happy bunch as well. Like they're always very nice. Anyway, so to cut a story short, I lost that job as well.
Why?
So it was due to restructuring. So HP decided to split between their hardware and their software divisions into two separate companies. And as a result of the restructuring, they decided to close down some offices. And so one of the offices that decided to close was the one that I was
Okay.
in Christchurch. So that resulted in me leaving in about a year after I joined there, which is a bit sad. But
Did you try to apply for any other jobs when you were in New Zealand or not?
yeah, look, again, because, like you said, smaller country, so companies and opportunities were just like, even though people were very keen to give it a go, it just wasn't working out in the time frame. Because also I needed money to stay there as well. So
Okay, yeah.
so as I was going from month to month, I found my resources depleting, and me just like thinking about, okay, maybe I need to head back to Australia and head back to Sydney and see what I
Yeah.
can do here.
Yeah, I think the job opportunities after I get my PR, I tried applying, and then the amount of money you were getting was not a lot, and there were not many opportunities in New Zealand as well. It's like you could find it, and then it just still doesn't match whatever your qualifications
Yeah.
are, and then. Yeah, my mate, we studied together, and he's in New Zealand, and then he started as an intern support, and then he's into I think it's a electricity company,
Okay.
something like that, and he's just still like, oh yeah, I could make good money, but still I'm buying a house, and it's more than I can afford.
Oh no.
It seemed like everywhere, I think, and then when you moved to Australia, you didn't feel any culture shock because you were born and bred in Dubai. So after completing your engineering or working at Infosys, did you ever think I could have gone back to Dubai or not?
Oh, right.
Because if you think about it, like even me, a lot of the IT people in engineering, we always think about going to Dubai and working over there.
Yeah. I understand. Look, like I said before, I visited Dubai a couple of times because sometimes on my work trips, right, when I was in Infosys, I would have to travel overseas, and sometimes I would have stopovers in Dubai for 24 hours.
Oh wow.
So, which means I could have left the airport and just gone out, which I did. And then I would meet my friends and just gone and looked at my old place and, my old neighborhood and stuff. And I did not recognize any of it, mate. Like, it was all so different and changed and modernized. And that's when I realized the home that I grew up in isn't there anymore. It's the place is still there, but it's not my home. Like, it's become something else now, and I think like maybe there's no place for me to move back to, so I'm more than happy, in a like I would have loved it if the Dubai of the 90s was still there, but it's not, so
Yeah.
I'll just
I don't know. They had to come up with a different plan. If you compare about 90s and then now, they had to come up with a different plan to boost their economy, because
yes, that's right.
you can have a lot of oil, but you can't have enough for the rest of the, I don't know, like generations and generations.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's how progression works, really. So it's not a criticism of what they were doing. It's just my image of
Yeah.
what Dubai used to look like and what it is
Yeah.
now is just different. So yeah, look, I think that looking back and visiting the place where you once was is good for memories.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
But it's all in the memories. I think it's still if I go back to my country and the places I was born and everything, it's completely different. I wouldn't even remember where I was born and all those stuff. And so you had quite a bit of journey going to New Zealand and then coming back. So when did you switch from your engineering stuff to public service?
Oh, public service. I think the landing point to public service would have been the very next job when I came back from New Zealand. So I started working in a call center. It was
Wow.
exactly a call center that sold alarm systems and safety devices for old people and things like that.
Only for old people.
Oh man, for whoever, man, it doesn't matter really.
So it was a outbound or inbound call center.
Oh, both. So you had to. It was mostly inbound, but you had to make outbound calls as well. For bills and
Yeah.
follow up and all that this stuff. But look, I think the call center industry was something that I've always looked upon with great disrespect. Exactly, man. Like I feel like I'm bringing shame upon my entire culture. In fact, I think when I finished uni, there was a wave of all my friends who just went, you know what, I can't be applying for work and waiting for the next thing to come. So, like, about 50 of my friends all went and joined the same call center together. Like, they didn't want to, this thing of like, we've been together for 4 years and we don't want to leave. We just want to continue this friendship, right? So, they all just kind of applied at the same place in Bangalore and just went
Money,
there.
I think money. I tried. Sorry, Dikari. I think money is okay as well, bro.
It's pretty good.
Because
pretty
I used to work in a call center back in Nepal, right?
Ah, nice.
And then I was a high-tempered guy, so
Okay, that's all right,
it's not how it works in customer
No,
service.
you can't do it all.
And it was one of the biggest telecom network in Nepal, right?
nice.
And then there were a couple of incidents where I couldn't. I was not good enough to. I wasn't good enough to talk with the customers at all. Because I was getting a random calls and then it was annoying and frustration. You know how it is in call center.
Yeah.
And then if I hadn't lost my temper, I don't think I would have come to Australia. Because that was an amazing job. I was having there were pretty good promotions and everything. And I was doing night shift. So we were only a couple of people there. And then it was good. And at that time, I remember I met a guy. He was from Darjeeling. And then he used to work in Bangalore in a call center, and he was a duty manager, kind of supervisor over there, right? And then he came to Australia, and then he worked in a recruitment agency. And then he could always suggest that if anybody doesn't have anything or want to earn money, if you are not studying, go to Bangalore and do call center. And then I was like, 60,000, and then that's when you convert it into Nepali, it's more. Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. But I think the call center life is one of those things that looks nice from the outside, and then you actually get into it, and then there's a lot of blowback from lack of sleep, for example, doing night shifts, and maybe the culture around it and stuff. So like obviously I didn't face any of that when I was in a call center thing now, but my impressions of a call center until that point in time were all bad. So I thought this is going to be really bad. And I started to get into it. And also, funny that you mentioned bad temper. I don't do well with customer calls and having to deal with resolution conflicts and stuff like that. My problem is I take things very personally, right?
Okay.
And so whenever it would be a conversation and it would end up with the person disagreeing with me or saying something that upset me, I would take it as this person is saying something against me personally, and I would get really upset.
It's still back in the day.
No, back in the day. That's no. I'm just building up to why the public service, right? Like it's literally the learning there, and so I would. Like all of these calls would be recorded and monitored, right?
Yeah.
And my manager would have a sit down with me every so often in the beginning, go like, look, mate, you can't take these things personally. A customer's got a problem. They're coming to you. They're, venting out and they're saying whatever they're saying. You can't take it personally. You have to be professional about the whole thing. And it took me about 5, 6 calls and a few years after that to kind of go, you know what, I'm going to do this job and I'm going to put on my professional hat on and I'm just going to make sure that I know what needs to be known for this job. So that was the other problem there. Like I didn't know anything about the technical aspect about the job, and so I would get mad that I couldn't help the customer either, and I would get mad at the customer as well. So um, I think those kind of things were like hurdles that I had to cross for myself personally and for my my temper and stuff. But man, I tell you, I enjoy like that year and a half that went by, right? It was pretty good. I enjoyed that job a lot.
It gives you confidence as well. I think in my case, I was not very good with talking with people, right?
Uh-huh.
And then when you start talking on the phone, and then you think, oh, you solve a problem, right? There were a lot of stuff back in those days where you could have a subscription from certain, like let's say you want to have a ringtone subscription, you have to have certain messages played on your phone as in voicemail. It was not like here because Nepal was just developing back in the still it's developing, but those kind of stuffs were subscription based, right?
Oh yeah.
And then not everybody used to get their heads around those subscription. How does it work? And then they used to end up subscribing 100 of the thing, and then the bill comes out 1,000 rupees.
Oh no.
So yeah, it used to be nice, and it used to be so frustrating as well. And yeah, it teaches you. I don't know. It taught me how to talk.
Yeah, I think working in an environment where the only thing that you communicate with is a computer screen, to go from that, like we would have client interactions and stuff like that, but imagine 90% of your job is speaking to that,
Yeah, it's speaking to
right?
that.
Like that's just, you don't get any people skills that way at all, as opposed to this, which is nothing but people skills.
Yeah.
Your computers are just additional tools that you need to look up
reference,
stuff.
yeah.
That's it. You need, like, the money that you get paid is based entirely on what comes out of this.
Exactly.
So that was interesting.
Yeah. So the public service. So if you think about it, you were working in Infosys, right?
Yes.
And then you went into support, right?
Yep.
So you just, and then at some point you like come to public service back there. And then it's a completely different job than what you have been doing.
Yes.
The one job.
Yeah.
Like, was it hard for you to adjust at the beginning, or?
No, I think the skill set that I had to gain when I was doing a public service job like I'm doing now is I feel like you are moving up rungs of a ladder, if that's a good image to get. Like I don't think I would be able to do the job that I'm doing now had I not had the experience that I had before in that call center. Like, it was a step of how am I going to deal with people on the phone, and now it is how am I going to deal with people in person,
Face to face.
yeah. So which is another level of difficulty that I again had to get used to, adjusted, because when you talk to a person on the phone, there's a shield there.
Yeah.
You don't have to have that face to face confrontation. But when it's a person in real time, you got to think quick, you got to act quick and speak quick, and have that information in your brain as well to be able to translate that into. So that was a new skill there.
Yeah.
Quick thinking and quick action.
Yeah. So being in Australia for quite a bit of time, and then working in quite a bit of job, you never thought of like going back to your own career, whatever you were doing at Infosys, or you just never thought of applying again?
No. At various points of time, I would reflect back on how many years of experience I did have in IT, and I did think about, oh, you know what, maybe it's time to put my feet back into the IT pond again and see how I go with that. So I did apply for various things, but I think the more you get away from your relevant IT experience, right, the more you get comfortable in what you're doing at present. So I think right now I'm in a place where I'm thinking of, I wonder if I could get some certifications going, and kind of get some upskilling, that's the word.
Upscaling.
If I could upskill and then reapply again, I might be in a better position to address IT again. I do enjoy what I'm doing now, but it's still not challenging to the mind. It's a good job, it pays well, and but yeah, it's not the same.
I think the priority also changes because you need to have a certain amount of income if when you have a big family. You got married in the middle as well, isn't it?
Oh boy, here's
And you
another
had
change there.
and you had kids, so yeah.
Yeah, so the last 5 years have been another change in my life as well. From getting this job at Sydney Trains to being married and now having 2 kids under 3. So that's exciting.
A roller coaster, completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I have had to learn to juggle being a worker, a husband, and a dad, and try to balance those roles well, because family is very important.
Yeah.
It's the reason why we work. We work also for our mental health and for fulfillment and all those other things. But yeah, everything in moderation. I think that's the way we should.
Yeah. Was it difficult at the beginning once you had kids?
Oh my goodness! So, we often, me and my wife often say, I wonder what it would have been like if we did have them. But the moment those words come out of our mouth, we would be like, no, there's no way we would live without our kids. Like these are the best things that have happened to us. But at that time, like I said, the journey is just painfully long and hard and never ending, mate. I just felt like the first years with our daughters were really, really hard because we had them within a couple of years apart. So that was an additional challenge there.
Yeah.
Because we just got over our first one. Well, we didn't get over, but we got over that first few years.
Getting used to it.
And then the second one comes in from left field, and we don't have any more hands left, man. We're like, oh my gosh, this has got to be easier than this, man. Unbelievable. And they're so different. Anyway, but parenthood is not for everybody. But it is a fulfilling thing. That's for sure.
Yeah, and then I think having kids, as you said earlier, is the best thing you could have. Best thing to that could have been to anyone, and not everybody wants kids. That's another thing. That's their own thing. But yeah, once you have kids, you think that, oh my God, it's amazing, isn't it? Like when you get tired and you go back home, and then you see them early in the morning, you see them at night. It feels like, for me, I feel my whole tiredness, whatever I'm doing, everything goes away when they smile, when they play, when they make a mess.
So I left my kids at daycare this morning, and I've been thinking about them all morning and just wondering when I can pick them up. It would be nice if they would be there the whole day, but if I could go there and pick them up, I'm so torn between if I pick them up early, they're gonna crawl all over me and take away my peace of mind. At the same time, I want to be with my kids, right?
Yeah.
It's like a back and forth. It's insane. Anyway.
Yeah, it's hard to balance, but yeah, once you get used to it, it looks like a piece of cake. Yeah,
It does actually.
Once you figure it out how to juggle between those things, okay, I can do it quite easy and everything.
And I've also been encouraged by many of I don't know. There's been a lot of people the last couple of weeks, and they've been actually telling me the same thing. They've been saying these years are not going to come back to you, brother. So enjoy them while you still have them.
Yeah, you just have to enjoy the moment. Once they grow up, especially in the countries you were born overseas, you left your parents.
That's it.
So when you think about it, you were immigrant in India.
That's right. I'm
I just realized
I'm not alone in this. There are many Indian immigrants who are immigrants in India. I've been an immigrant since I was born. If you actually think about it, so there you go. So I'm still I'm not an immigrant now. I'm an Australian citizen, but I'm still an immigrant in my mind, I think.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Now you got everything to do it. So if you think about it, you were born in Dubai, then you went back to India, and then back to Australia, then New Zealand, and then so you have traveled quite a few places, isn't it? Like four different countries, if you think about it.
Sure. Yep.
So the challenges you mentioned were finding the job as well when you came to Australia, because it was a kind of your own mindset of, no, I need to find a job in that same field that I was doing. Other than that, were there any obstacles you find, or how do you think about Australia when you think about how welcome you were in this country?
Right. I think also, so now we were talking about my perception to how how this country would treat me. I think Australians um respond based on what they know. I think most people are like that. I feel like I shouldn't be saying this specifically to the Australians, but now that we're talking about this country in specifically, like they would, like if they see me as a package, right? They would go, like they would not be able to kind of put the pieces together, if that makes sense. Like they would look at this brown guy who would speak English the way that I do, but they wouldn't, like, I think even my first interview, when I had my interview with the people at HP in New Zealand, the one of the very first questions that they had was, your English is really good, like how do you speak English like that? And then I had to explain to them my school,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff like that. So I think the perception of who I am to people here could have been a stumbling block, because you might think that an immigrant who looks like this and who's from this particular background doesn't have anything to bring to the table, but and I think it's my and it's also my level of confidence as well. I think because maybe I didn't grow up here, or this is not my home per se, right? Like I think if I was a bit more assertive and motivated to get jobs, maybe I would have progressed a bit more. But I think in general, I think the reception of people in this country has been good. I think they need to be informed.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. I would say like if you just go and meet a person and expect that person to treat you well, that's not going to work. Like
Nah.
you need to build up a relationship with the person and get to know them, and then they'd be like, oh, you know what, this is a pretty cool guy. Like I would like to be this guy's friend, or I'd like to have this guy
Yeah,
work
fair
with me and
enough.
stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's not fair to pass a judgment and say people are like this and people are like that. I think I've enjoyed living in this country. Like overall, there's a lot of things
Yeah.
that in this country that I really enjoyed, like the dignity of labor. I really enjoyed that in this country. Like you don't work in a job that's higher or lower than your station. Like any job that you do is good enough. You get paid well enough. You can hold your head up high, and you can live in society, and no one's going to judge you or treat you differently or unfairly. Or,
Yeah, now Australia is a welcoming country. It allows, in our case, it allowed us as an immigrant to thrive in this country. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We were able to make something out of ourselves,
correct.
so that our future generations and even our parents are there quite proud about it, because you come here, you work, you get a certain amount of money, you are having a good lifestyle. You know what I mean? Whatever the job you are doing, whatever anyone is doing, they are doing up to the best ability.
Correct.
And then this country always welcomes that one.
Yeah.
I think we need to have a pretty good gratitude for this country.
Exactly. Like I think you can't you can say any country has got its own shortcomings and flaws and kind of like, oh, you know what, you guys can do this better, you can do that better. But having said that, you focus on the positives and just keep the negatives to the side and just work with what you have, I guess. That's what it is.
So you mentioned about doing some certification as well. So you are thinking on your head that you want to go back to what you studied.
I am actually thinking of a number of things. So I again look one of the things that I learned before I came to this country is that I need to do my research, right? So I've been doing a lot of research. So going back to IT and doing some local courses was one of the things on my mind. The other thing on my mind and a deep interest for me for a long time has been music. So I want to do some certifications with the music, and if that leads to some kind of a career, then so be it. But I want to do it for the enjoyment of it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
That
like
that's more of like your hobby.
that's right. So I still want to. I think in a practical sense, I'm pretty good musically, but I want to be able to have something on paper. Like that would be good. Like I would be like a recognized musician, right? That'd be nice to have.
So
So
what do you
that's
do? Do you compose music? Do you write a song? Do you sing? What do you do?
Oh no, so I sing at church for now, but I am interested in like, performing locally and stuff like that. I haven't done anything like that or even recording, but I think there's a lot of potential for growth there, but I haven't explored it. So
Okay.
that's the thing. So I thought these two areas of my life where I could grow would be music and IT. So yeah, doing a little research on that. And I
Yeah.
think this is a good place to do that. Being in Australia, you have opportunities and you have, I think back home, this would be a more tougher thing to explore. Like back home in India, everybody would like, no, you gotta put your head down and focus on your career. What you're doing with all this music stuff and all that. Anyway, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is a good place. It may not be a good time right now, but I'm with the existing time that I have.
I think every time is a good time. Once you start it, you just have to start it, isn't
That's
it?
that's
Because
that's
once
pretty
you
much it.
start it, you know, oh, okay, I did. Let's say even you're doing something a fortnight apart, right? You did something before. Oh, okay, I can do. I do have a little bit of time here and there. I know with two kids, full time job and everything, it's really hard to get that time. But
Yeah.
still, you could squeeze some time in between your busy period and then do something like that.
Exactly, mate. Like I'm looking at this entire podcast setup of yours, brother, and I have to say I am very impressed. Given your station in life, which is also similar to me, new dad, you are pulling it off very well. So that's
No, it just
pretty
I'm
amazing,
I'm
brother.
trying to learn, bro. I'm trying to learn from everybody that I could talk. I think at this point in my life, it's more about learning and how other people about seeing the world from someone else's eyes as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. That's
And
good.
then, do you still how social you are here?
Oh, right.
Do you go to any events?
So we go to church every Sunday, and we have a very multicultural bunch of people. A lot of Indians there, so we're still connected to the culture as you were, and my parents and her parents and my brothers and sisters and hers as well. So, my wife. So we I don't think we will ever leave Indian culture, and this country has got so many Indians and so many like connections to culture as and my aunt as well. So we have a whole lot of people who just kind of remind us of our beginnings and our background and stuff. So that's never going to change. I don't think that ever changed, regardless of the country that I went to. Even in New Zealand, I found a whole bunch of Indians there as well. So
Yeah, no, I think
yeah,
it's always good to be connected with your own root and everything.
yeah, because you bring a lot of things to the table that may not be here in this present culture. The whole sense of family and that closeness and that kind of thing is a really good thing, I think.
Do you think your perspective of looking at the life has changed since you moved to Australia or since you moved back to India from Dubai?
Yeah. I think every stage of life has like I said made me the person I am today. I think everybody um, should have experiences like this. They don't have to have experiences like what I did, but they need to have experiences that make you come out of your current worldview and kind of adapt. Like you can't live in a world where you're the center of the universe and everything revolves around you, right? At the same time, you have to realize that there you need to grow. You need to be aware of your surroundings and aware of the people around you who need you. You know, you know, that kind of thing, and then recognize your own skills and talents and use them well. Like that's an area where I have realized now. Like I feel like working in my current job that I'm working in, I'm helping people. Like I'm actually helping people, and I'm doing a good job at it. I feel like I'm doing a good job at it, and I think that I have other skills as well that can be used for the betterment of society. I just need to tap into it and use it well. So like my journey, right, my work and countries and movement and all this stuff have actually taught me this. Like I need to make myself better to make others better.
Yeah, fair enough. Exactly. Yeah, that's a pretty valid point. If you yeah, I think it comes down to your personal growth as well. You keep on, because life is always learning and you keep on evolving. Everything keeps on changing, and then you gotta be up to date with what's changing around. Like you said, Chennai, you gotta be in the train where everybody is moving.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's
That's it. That's it.
kind of thing. And does David Rajkumar live by any philosophy?
Yes, I think. Yeah. Look, for a guy who's always looking at the finish line, right? I would say don't discount the journey. The journey is vital. The journey is hard, but the journey will teach you things much more than the destination ever would. Like the destination might be your target, and you might be happy and proud when you get there. But then you found out that your way to the destination is probably the thing that kind of counts even more. My personal philosophy is like just be kind to people, mate. Like what are you gonna lose? Like like it doesn't matter if people are like mean or whatever. Like just be nice to people. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to pay for anything, right? You
Yeah,
just
that's it.
gotta be nice. It's just words that come out of your mouth. It's all that matters.
Yeah, just kind of treat people like how you would like them to
Yeah,
treat you. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like treat yourself. That's it.
Well, anything you want to add on? Anything you want to say? Any advice you want to give to people pursuing their passion, their career, and want to move from Infosys to Australia?
Okay. I think when you're going through life and you're having different experiences which you thought, I wish I never went through this, I would say don't treat any of that as irrelevant, mate, because that's kind of molding you to do the next thing. Like this is true of my life, right? Everything that I thought was irrelevant and not important has actually been a stepping stone to the next thing, right? That would be my advice. Like don't over stress about like, oh, am I taking the right path? Am I going the right way? Just get into it, mate, because it might be the wrong step, but it's still a step somewhere, right? Don't be stagnant. That's what I would say. Don't be stagnant. Just keep going, and life will figure a way out, dude. Like it's what have you got to lose, right? That's it.
Yeah, don't stress out. Don't overthink,
Don't overthink. That's what I would
and
say.
then
Yeah.
just go with the flow.
Just go with the flow, because you know what? The more you think about it and the more you stress about it, what you'll end up doing is just that. You'll think and not do anything. Yeah.
Thanks. It was a nice talk with Mr. David. Look, we have known each other for quite a while, and then it took us a couple of attempts to sit down and actually have a drink and have a talk. And then, yeah, I will see you soon, and I really appreciate it. And I didn't know that you were born in Dubai and everything. It was a new thing to know as well. And then once again, thanks, bro.
Thanks for having me, Sharad. Immigrant for life. Thank you.
Thanks. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe. Until then, your host Sarat Bhatrai signing off.